Has JP Morgan been exploring the XRP Ledger and collaborating with Ripple? Well, some intriguing new revelations have surfaced, ones that might just push us closer to answering yes to that question. There's also a fascinating clip I'll be sharing that dives into tokenization, what it is, how it works, and why it's poised to redefine finance as we know it. We're also going to explore why major banking institutions are gearing up for a shift toward crypto integration, and why that transition is absolutely critical. Let's not overlook the DTCC and ISDA. Yes, you heard that right. The Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation and the International Swaps and Derivatives Association, both of which have engaged with Ripple and other blockchain networks in the past. That alone makes this worth a deep dive. But before I unveil that powerful clip about JP Morgan, let's first break down tokenization. I get asked about this topic constantly during my live streams, which happen every Tuesday and Friday at 3:30 p.m. PST. If you haven't joined us yet, I'd love to see you there. We spend an hour or more unpacking your questions, and tokenization is always a hot topic. So let's clarify what's currently unfolding in real estate and asset tokenization. Ripple has been actively developing solutions around home equity loans and other real estate instruments. They've conducted international pilot programs that hint strongly at the new financial framework being put into place. From asset valuation and collateralization to back-office efficiency and seamless user experience, tokenization is becoming irresistible. Industry giants like BlackRock or Goldman may soon be moving toward full-scale implementation. More likely, they'll begin tokenizing assets in parallel with letting the traditional financial rails slowly phase out. Right now, the legacy system is still in operation, but the new infrastructure is quietly linking up behind the scenes. For years, blockchain struggled to integrate smoothly with centralized finance. But Ripple's acquisition of Hidden Road, a prime brokerage firm, marked a seismic shift, bridging DeFi with TradFi in a tangible, functional way. And with the rise of stablecoins and tokenized assets, this fusion is accelerating. Now, let's zoom out and grasp the broader scenario. Thousands of real estate developers and fund managers are standing at the edge of inevitability. Tokenization isn't just coming, it's unavoidable. If you've been paying attention, you already know that. So picture this. We might not know exactly where all this latent value will settle, but we've all done the research. We've all connected the dots. Whether the value lands on Hedera, the XRP Ledger, Algorand, or XDC, these networks are set to skyrocket in relevance and capitalization. Think about it, even if just $500 billion or $1 trillion per quarter flows onto these ledgers, a modest market cap multiplier could balloon that into $25 to $50 trillion in value. We don't need hundreds of trillions to enter XRP for its price to climb exponentially. With a well-placed $5, $10 trillion, and the right multiplier, the results could be staggering. Momentum is building. All signs point to a transformation that will unfold slowly, and then suddenly all at once. Behind closed doors, companies are rigorously testing, validating, and preparing. They're ensuring these systems are bulletproof, because once confidence takes hold, once they trust the new infrastructure to replace the old, the floodgates will open. And that is what we're waiting for. Many want it to happen overnight. But great revolutions don't crash in. They emerge and then erupt. I believe we're still a few years away from full-scale implementation. Regulatory clarity is the key that unlocks everything. The Basel framework for banks is quickly approaching, and financial institutions need clear guidance on which digital assets they're permitted to hold and which they're not. So will crypto regulation be finalized in 2025? And if so, will it take effect immediately, or will implementation be delayed until 2026 or 2027? The reality is, banks are unlikely to invest tens of millions into infrastructure until they have firm regulatory direction. Now, this part really stood out to me. A representative, possibly from SCT Instant, seemed to be discovering Ripple and XRP's capabilities for the first time, particularly their ability to move value across borders in just 4 seconds. His reaction? Priceless. And honestly, it reminds us that once more people become aware of this technology, they're instantly intrigued. It's fast, efficient, and cost-saving, everything modern finance demands. Let me share what he said. The fintech company Ripple claims to process and settle cross-border payments in 4 seconds. Wow, 4 seconds, that's astonishing. For example, a transaction between Europe and the US takes less than half the time of SCT Instant's current 10-second standard. No wonder Ripple is valued in the billions. He then added a crucial point. SCT Instant is indeed revolutionary. The pace of innovation is relentless, and something even faster already exists. It's called Ripple. Now, onto the headline moment. JP Morgan. Thanks to Smoke Dog, go follow him, we now have a document confirming that even JP Morgan recognizes Ripple as a serious disruptor in global payments. One of the most powerful financial institutions on Earth is studying, monitoring, and acknowledging Ripple's potential to revolutionize cross-border finance. Consider this. JP Morgan reportedly moves around $10 trillion per day. Let that sink in. With that scale, they have the capital to build proprietary systems, but they also need to understand their competition. That's why collaboration between Ripple and institutions like JP Morgan may not just be possible, it may be inevitable. Here's a quote straight from a JP Morgan blockchain report. Blockchain and crypto processing are solving interoperability and data challenges across geographic boundaries. It also highlights Ripple's advantages: secure, inexpensive, fast, supports any currency, whether it's a cryptocurrency, a CBDC, or a fiat tokenized asset. As long as it's issued on the XRP Ledger, it can be traded seamlessly. Ripple leverages a cloud-based ledger to interconnect fragmented financial systems, enabling global fund transfers while integrating with legacy infrastructure. Imagine Swift's infrastructure, or JP Morgan's, tapping into RippleNet as a node. That's the hybrid system, new rails on an old track. Another diagram in the document shows how this system works. Two banks, sender and receiver, connected through a market maker who holds both currencies and facilitates the transfer. Simple, elegant, powerful. And Ripple being called a disruptor isn't new. Christine Lagarde, currently president of the European Central Bank and a former head of the IMF, also labeled Ripple, Stellar, and Circle as key disruptors in global finance. So here's the question I want to ask you. How long do you believe this adoption cycle will take? Will we see mass integration this year? Or will it take 3, 5, or even 10 more years? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm eager to hear your predictions. Also, if you made it this far, please smash that like button. It genuinely helps us reach more forward-thinking minds like yours. Your support means everything.